everybody. So since the spring we started thinking to sell the market here in the village, which is not a real market. It's more like an association of people that come together and buy from the producer here locally. There's like a cheesemaker, there's another vegetable and eggs producer, but not really here on the village. So when we were invited on this land, they were also inviting us to produce food for the school and also for the village. And it was really not our priority. Our priority was really like to do agroforestry and to learn and to be self-sufficient. So we were kind of like a bit forced into it, but it's also a very nice challenge because you go from like not being able to produce food for yourself to being able to produce food for others like straight away, with challenges and highs and lows. For example, today is our first day of it works like they pre-command during the week, and then Monday we meet up for 2 hours and we give away what they ordered and they pay. So today, for example, they ordered 15 botas, like
Clumps?
clumps, yeah, of radishes. And I said like it's something that we have a limited stock because they're not yet fully matured. And straight away we got like so many of them and so many little things that actually like there's an abundance of, like Swiss chard, um, broad beans, also peas. Same thing, we said that the peas are not ready yet. Everybody bought like peas, like 7 kilos of them. But yeah, I just wanted to, because we have never really introduced this space here, that it's quite new. We started this like 4 months ago, I guess, like making these no dig beds with cardboard, horse poop and wood chips on the paths. And here's gonna be the new tree lines in the near future, so this autumn. And we prepared the tree lines just with potatoes because we saw that they work the soil very well. So here are potatoes straight away on the ground with some compost, horse poop. They are a bit interplanted, but with cabbages and stuff. And the interlines are like with 3 beds of vegetables. For example, here we have the main crop was um, aubergine, but they're not so big. And last year I interplanted the tomatoes with the beetroot and it worked so well. I said, okay, let's try with aubergine, but it feels like the beetroot and everything else is taking over, so it's not having so much time to go up. But we will see. We can just harvest the beetroot and then it's gonna have space. I really like intercropping a lot because I want to plant so much and I don't have so much space prepared. So here, for example, there is beetroot in clumps every 30 centimeters with 3-4 beetroots already. That they're really growing well. And this is really like, until now it was only prairie until 4 months ago, and now there's like 50 centimeters of compost and wood chip, and things like seem so vigorous. And in between that I planted radishes with some carrots and some turnips. You can see here the carrots, and these are turnips. And now I'm harvesting the radishes, which is perfect. It really goes super quick. And
Also asparagus.
and also asparagus as a perennial. So we're really having fun. Well, it's not that it always works so good, the interplanting, but we just try. We just have fun, because if you don't try, you don't know. Like on books, like interplanting, measurements and what works good, like you just try it. Really don't focus too much on books, I would say, and you will see if it doesn't work. If it gets too much shade, you just come and chop it or harvest. And yeah, I just
Yeah, not being so attached
not being so attached
to what you plant.
For example, now we have quite some weeds here, and I started going crazy. I was like, man, no, I'm doing no dig, I should be having no weeds. But the truth is, like, I didn't tarp this area before planting and before putting all this organic matter. So it's for sure like this one, Equisetum, horsetail is gonna come through always. But it's not a problem. Like, look how much shade it makes. Okay, couch grass is coming a bit, but when this is gonna be full, also I'm thinking like in 1 year there's nothing left here of couch grass, and other weeds, like there's another
This guy,
strong weed
sunflower family.
that has a huge root inside deep down, and actually you can weed it like so easily. It just comes nice radish, and it comes out like good, and once you weed it for a season it doesn't come back.
It's like a pioneer of the sunflower family.
So it's really not that bad. Like as soon as something shades the vegetables, you can come and chop it with a sickle. But I'm not gonna, because look here. Here we have tomatoes and carrots, but look how many weeds. And I was going crazy, like to come and weed it all by hand. I will come once with a sickle and I just chop what I don't need and mulch with it, and then come and mulch more on the tomatoes, because otherwise you really go crazy. You cannot do.
Especially on the first year.
Yeah.
It just takes a bit of time to communicate with the plants that there is cover, there is plants, they don't need to come.
Yeah. So here it's tomatoes. Can we do a little tour? Just a short
Yeah.
tour of what we're growing?
Should I like stop it so that if we want to separate it or no?
I think it's fine.
Okay. We're on 6 minutes 50.
Okay.
Alright, let's get it.
So here we have, as you said, a lot of varieties of beefsteak and like big tomatoes from France, Romania, and Italy.
That we staked with dried canes.
Yes.
And we got a bit tired of it.
Yes. So next thing that we started doing is staking with willow sticks, because in Romania we did this, not basically by mistake. We had willows to stake the tomatoes and they shoot it up, they rooted, and after 1 year they were like growing. So we said, let's do this for once and all and not do it anymore, because it's really not a nice job when you have to do 400 tomatoes. So we hope that these are going to root and grow some biomass, and that we can prune. It's going to make some shade, and it's going to be there forever. And this is in the interline, so that there is really the most light is really in the middle of it. So here as well, like I like to show a bit the mess. Basically my approach to growing vegetable is like I plant, I see if it works. If it doesn't seem so happy, I add different things. And even if it seems happy and it seems to have space, like first thing I was planting are turnips. First time growing turnips, and I'm in love with them. Also with taste and also with the shape. This is so beautiful. So first I was planting turnips. Onions from seed, they really didn't work. They seem to not like so much this fresh compost and wood chip. Then I started planting kohlrabi. They're growing now. Also carrots. Actually I planted first carrots and I thought they dried up completely because it was very windy at that time. I was like, okay, forget about it. And actually after 2 weeks they came, even if it was super dry, the soil, they came up. In this part of the bed there are fennels. I grew fennels from seed and I'm very proud. Like in soil blocks. Like growing fennel seems so crazy. There was radishes as well that I forgot to harvest a long time ago, and now they're going to flower. A lot of turnips that need also to go to the market. So this bed was like that, and now I planted tomatoes because I need a lot of space for many tomatoes. So I planted tomatoes here, so they have to go up before the fennel goes too bushy. In this part, salads. I really didn't like growing so much salads, but this method, basically I started them in super small mini blocks and I just threw them in. They are really like a nail, the mini blocks. They're big as a nail, and I just like put them in when it was March and it was a bit rainy, and after 2 months they're huge head salads. And same things here, they're interplanted with turnips, with tomatoes that are gonna go up, so they're not gonna bother. There's a bunch of weeds that we don't see. We select our vision and we don't see. I'm gonna add the basil. We can show maybe here the beautiful pattern. Look how huge! Like in few days they're really growing so much. And you can see how it doesn't bother. Like I planted this here and really like it's so good to interplant things because you save so much space. Some kohlrabi. Here like few survived onions from seed. They should be all looking like a bit like big like this, but the rest is like non-existent. Put some flowers for shade. Here it's one line. That's gonna be the tree line. So there's not even any cardboard. We just put straight away on the soil, and it looks fantastic. There's so little weeds. Jimmy started already planting some trees in it because we're not gonna touch this line even with broad fork. We're just gonna come and plant in it. So these are like some peaches and some hybrid poplar.
And then a lot of Artemisia absinthium.
Yes.
That is really doing great.
And Buddleia as well from cutting. So this bed is basically fennel in the middle and interplanted with chard, Swiss chard, that is growing like a beast. And we have a lot of mice, like field mice, coming and eat them. And we were really peaceful beings before, but we started really having to make choices. We started putting traps, especially in the greenhouses with the seeds, because they come and eat all the seeds. And it seems to work very good. Look at this peach, how huge, and also this artemisia. Look at the peach, and this tomato was from seed in the pot with it, and it's bigger, almost than the ones in that I planted.
This peach is what? It's like 40 centimeters already.
So this line is incredible.
This chart is crazy as well.
This chart is going crazy. This line had broccoli, has broccoli. It's just that the
Let me stand on this side.
Yeah.
Otherwise, for the light.
Yeah. Broccoli, but I have to harvest these turnips because they're becoming a bit a jungle. They're like turnips like this that make such a big bulb and so little green. And then there are like this, I don't know if this is snowball or something. Look how small and how big greens. You can also eat them. Yesterday I ate them and they're slightly bitter, but they're not too bad. So here we have broccoli. We still have beetroot. I love beetroots, so, and they grow very easily. So basically when I come and I harvest this, that's gonna have sun. There's beetroot here as well. I just put everything I had, like, I just love sowing, so I have a bit of an addiction for sowing, and so when I have them, I have to put them somewhere.
This is broccolis?
Broccolis, yeah. I have broccolis and also cabbages, but somewhere else. Here we have broad beans. Same thing, I wanted to plant a lot of broad beans in winter, in spring, and now we don't know where to sell them anymore because there's so much. We are basically contacting all our neighbors in close where to Jimmy's mom lives, and we're saying we make boxes with fresh veggies from the garden. Are you interested? When we come over, we can bring you one. And they're really like, yes, 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 yes. What do you have right now? So we're very happy about that. So basically we're selling here at the market, which is not real market because they pre-order. And also we are making boxes for people that we know, family, friends, neighbors. Same here, broad bean interplanted with Swiss chard because I know that it loves a bit of shade, and the broad bean is gonna soon go out. And same thing, there is
weeds.
No, weeds, yes, a lot of weeds. And asparagus from seed that we repotted, like we transplanted, because we want them to be also in long term some perennial beds here. So yeah, the weeds really, like, it's not a problem. If you are constantly weeding, you're never gonna stop. But if you just do it once, you know, you come and cut and mulch, you know, forget about it. Plants are gonna manage.
Yeah.
They're not so pussies.
Basically giving the plants a bit of an opportunity to show what they can do, because quite often they're a lot stronger than we think.
And sometimes, you know, I did like bad interplanting in the sense that I didn't know where to put things, and I knew that it wouldn't maybe work so much. The broccolis, I continued the line here, and I also had peas in it already planted. And here they get sun only in the afternoon. We will see what they do. But if they just stay like that, this goes out after the harvest, they're gonna have light and maybe just have a bit of a delay harvest. It's really like, there's no bad and wrong. These are mange tout, basically like snap peas that you can eat everything, with the purple flowers. Have you seen that? Look, super beautiful. And these broad beans are getting started as well, and we have so many inside in the old plantation that are already so ripe as well. Here we have a crazy story. So we planted asparagus from seed, but we have a wild asparagus in the bed that grew basically in the bed. Like that, it's super fat. I really thought Jimmy was playing a prank on me, and I saw like this huge purple asparagus coming out of the bed. I was like, who put this here? Like, I tried to pull it out, but it was really like in the ground. So we let them go to the fern state. I have to stake this, and now it's making it's probably a female or a male, I don't know. It was gonna make the little berries. You can plant those and you have amazing asparagus. And here's like a delicacy. People go around and look for wild asparagus all the time. Here more also interplanted with beetroot, with
Fava bean.
with fava bean, and with turnips. The idea is like, if things they don't manage to you know, to fruit straight away, they're just gonna wait a bit, and one thing goes out, and then it's gonna have light and space again. But it really doesn't seem to bother, and I'm not you know, counting on everything to harvest everything. It's also for just for the photosynthesis. More peas planted with potatoes at the base. Here you can see them. Here basically are gonna be the tree lines. Here tomato line that we're making as well with canes, and then 3 or 4 potato beds.
Don't talk from too far.
Sorry, we can just go there. You know, this is just a prairie. It was just a prairie, and it might look like a mess, but if it produces things from a prairie like that, it's not bad. So here we planted like no dig potatoes, just on the ground with compost on top, and we mulched them good.
I just show them.
We're getting a bit also overwhelmed, like with the story of the market, you know, we are not so much doing so much as we wanted. For example, now we're cutting the grasses, but look how much grass there is here to be chopped and mulched. Here's like a zucchini line, another potato line.
They started a bit, like they scared us a bit because they started getting yellow.
Yeah, I planted them a bit earlier. It was like super hot, and then it became cold again. So I think they had a bit of a transplant shock. Here as well are some zucchinis that they run everywhere. So basically the idea here, it's also tree lines, but we didn't have any interlines of the garden beds. But here are like pumpkins and zucchinis that can run freely. So they have 5 meters in between each other. So here pumpkins as well. Like I was planting fava beans. Now you see some fava beans, but they're soon gonna go out. So yes, these pumpkins. So this is it for the garden. We also have something inside planted.
You can also share about the interline here that we planted the pumpkins.
So
well, first what it was.
Yes.
So here we have three super long tree lines of 40 meters. For us, it's super long. So one here, and one there. And then we have interlines of 5 meters, and you can tell about them if
Yes.
you want.
So the idea here was to do interlines of artichokes, 3 beds of strawberries, which I already planted. I already planted like 300 strawberries or something inside. And then over there, raspberry and asparagus. But the thing is, here it's not, it doesn't have a fence. So this winter and this spring, the wild boars were visiting us like very, very often. Now you don't see, but here was like, there were hills and mountains because we put a lot of fresh wood chip last year. So during winter it became like super mushy, it attracted so many worms, and they were coming and feasting every night. And basically they took out so many strawberries, and every day we would come and we would try to put things back. And so we gave up and we said, just like, fuck it, like let's leave it how it is. And now we came and we saw like a pumpkin that sprouted from the compost that we put under the mulch. So we said, okay, let's just sow some pumpkin seeds. And so just a few days ago, it was raining, so we sowed those. We also planted some that I had already made plants. You can see they're still a bit small. So here was all strawberries, but I took them out because I was like, no, this is not gonna work. And I put them all in the tree lines because it seems that it works much better. Some parts are like completely taken away by grasses, but it's not a problem if the pumpkins grow. You see one remnant of strawberry, and but they were so respectful that they were not touching the tree lines because they didn't have mulch on them. So they would just come basically on the path and mulch the tree line very good. Like, it was so funny. We would find in the morning all the line mulched, and very rarely they would look into the line because there were not so many worms. And you might notice that there's like green manure, like what is all these weeds growing in the tree line? This is a green manure because we didn't do the broad fork, we just came and planted the trees, bare root, making a hole, but there was still weeds, like couch grass and everything in between. So we said, let's sow a green manure and see what happens. And it seems it's a bit messy. You lose things, but now we're coming with a sickle and cutting the green manure and putting it on the side. Because, yeah, things need some light. Here we have currants, but we have also a lot of seeds and a lot of cuttings, which
in this case, a little bit, yeah, bootleg or some.
And this like poplars, and they need a bit of light, so we're coming and put it down. And here we have a line of raspberries. That same thing, we didn't do anything, we just came and so the raspberry line, we just came and made a hole for the raspberries. We put some cuttings with them to have a bit of protection, and we just
poplar cuttings,
and then we just put a thick layer of composted wood chips on top to mulch and to give some fertility. And now we're planting tomatoes that are bush tomatoes, that they stay on the floor to cover here. And also I planted some melon from seed. So this is like a 40-meter line, raspberry line. We hope that it likes it to grow here because we love raspberries. For example, another failed experiment here was a no-dig bed with onions. And onions really don't like not composted. Like, it feels like you can see them. They don't like, they like really native soil. They grow super good in native soil, mixed with some fertility, with some compost, but not straight away in this unfinished compost. I think for now it's good. It's already so much. I already just wanted to start from
radishes.
Yes, no, but I wanted just to introduce a bit what we're doing, because yeah, we are constantly changing, and you can understand a bit why we are also growing so many vegetables. It's also because we are living in the yurt, and they told us it's actually illegal to live on agricultural land in Ondabo in a yurt. So but they are on our side, the people from the village, and they say if you're gonna produce, we can use that as an excuse that you need to be on like here. You're not just coming here for vacation and just illegally, building something and putting it on the land. So if you produce, then we can just use that as an excuse. So here we are. We're a bit forced, but also like it's a challenge that I'm really excited about. As soon as I feel that it becomes too much, I feel that I'm happy, so that it's a good sign that I have to stop, and I don't have to prove anything to anybody, and so it just has to be fun. If it's fun, then it's good.
Yeah, I would like to add about that. Sure.
Yes, please.
Like that we always try to keep it fun because we notice when we do these things, at some point we start to get very tired and we start to get a bit almost like depressed and sad, and that's when we know that we're no longer following our
Joy.
intuition, our joy, whatever you want to call it. So it seems like we have a beautiful feedback with ourselves that we can realize, oh, we're doing something that's not really meant to be, or oh yeah, we're playing like literally like kids playing freely, and okay, if we can sell with it, it's awesome. But it first comes from the joy, and then the consequences could be money or crops or whatever. But it's a beautiful feedback loop with ourselves. So thanks to depression and sadness and tiredness and all these things to communicate with us and to stay aligned. All right, see ya.